Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and this is part 2 of my YouTube mini-series on helping new YouTubers, uploaders, with common things like video rendering and recording and commentary creation and such. So, in part 1, I covered the types of recording apps available, the most commonly known at least, that you can use to record both games and desktop, and even a commentary audio file if necessary without recording video. And today I will go over some basic tips on how to render the final result video in Sony Vegas after you've imported your gameplay and recorded your commentary and edited everything to your liking. Now, the main thing to remember about the final result that you're going to render when you've already have all the parts in your video edited is to have a good output quality sound and video. Something you won't be ashamed to upload to YouTube for many people to see. Something that won't seem like it was filmed on a potato. You obviously want to balance the final quality with the file size of the render, as that might be important to some people because not everyone has Google Fiber. So you want to render an output that is about as good as your source recorded game footage. Now, last time I covered the different recorders and recording modes for games and such, so it stands to reason when recording your game, you should probably know what your output footage will be, both bitrate wise and frame rate wise. Obviously, bitrate is important because more bitrate usually equals more quality video, but obviously the more bitrate you have in your video, the bigger the original size, and ditto the final output. As far as the frame rate goes, you want to record such a frame rate in your game footage that won't clash with your final rendered output. You want to render your final video, which you are going to upload to YouTube, with a multiple of that frame rate that your footage has, which you can check obviously by right-clicking the file and going to Properties and then Details. Now, what I mean by multiple is a frame rate that will divide into evenly into the gameplay footage's frame rate. So, for example, if your video game footage frame rate was 60 FPS, you want to render the final output at 60 or 30 FPS. You probably don't want to render it at 25 FPS because 25 doesn't go evenly into 60. And this might cause, stuttering in the final output video, especially because YouTube compresses your uploaded video anyway after you upload it to save some space on their servers. Incidentally, YouTube caps its frame rate at 30 FPS, I think, so rendering anything over that is pretty much redundant anyway, as you're just gonna take more time and create a bigger file size. So right now I'm going to show you on a particular set of footage exactly how I render things and how I try to get the most quality out of my videos. Now, this is a project that I already have pre-saved in Sony Vegas, and I use it every time for all of my videos, so I'm going to talk more about that in my next video for mass production. But right now, I'm going to go to my Battlefield 3 footage folder, and I'm just going to import this bit of footage here and drop it right into my Sony Vegas project. And there will be a couple of things here that I want to mention about this footage. Now, the most important thing that you can do when you have any type of footage is you can right-click it, go to Properties, and click Disable Resample. Now, what this will do for your footage is take a look at this preview right here, right now. You see this? Especially take a look at this wall. You see how blurred out it is? That's because Sony Vegas tries to resample these frames and tries to blend them with neighboring frames, thus kind of providing for motion blur. Now once you disable the resample, see how sharp it becomes? Now this is the single most important thing you can do for footage with fast motion, like, you know, FPS games like Battlefield or Titanfall or whatever, because you know, without disabling the resample, your videos will not be very sharp at all. And in fact, they will be, you know, quite blurry and low quality. Now, the next thing you can do is, if you click Properties, you can check the frame rate again of your video. And this video is, it tells me that it's 59.95 FPS, so about 60. So rendering the whole output at 30 FPS will probably be alright, because it divides pretty well into 60. And I have all my properties, by the way, set in my custom project properties right here, where you can check some properties and save a preset. But this is not very important because I will specify the render output anyway. Alright, so how do I render this footage? How do I prepare it? Well, there's a couple of things to do. Now, I've seen a video by Jack Frags where he says that he likes to drop a color corrector onto onto his game footage, which kind of, let's try that now. Basically, a color corrector is, it's kind of a very custom thing that will be different for each person, and you know, it all depends on your view of the world. There is no right answer, so you may want to do it, you may not want to do it. It is entirely up to you. Now, as for my final output of this video, I'm going to highlight it here so I can render just this region. What I'm going to do is, because I found that my 1080p videos from my original 1080p footage were not exactly the best quality when it came after YouTube rendered it the final time and compressed it. So I found what I like to do is render my final output upscaled a little bit. Not 1080p, but 1152p, which is actually one step above the 1080p in 16:9 in the 16:9 aspect ratio. But in order for me to render this piece of video footage in 1152p and for it not to suffer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a very subtle sharpen effect. I'm going to use this preset that I have, and basically what it is it's a simple sharpen effect, except what I did was I changed the value to 0.1, and then I saved that preset, gave it a name, and pressed the save button. So you can do that too. So right now this footage is sharpened by 0.1. So when I render the final output, instead of 1080p, I will render it in 1152p. It will look pretty well on your monitor, because I'm betting dollars to donuts most of my viewers are having a 1080p monitor right now. So, you know, this footage will likely look pretty well on those monitors. And here is how I render that footage. Alright, so let's go to File, Render As, and I already have here my preset. It isn't actually 1440p, it's 1152p, but because YouTube doesn't seem to distinguish between the two, it goes by default from 1080p to 1440p. So, you know, I just coded that for simplicity's sake. But basically what I did was I came to the let's see, I chose a simple WMV preset, then I clicked Customize Template, and here are the settings that I chose. Now, you can change your audio to quality variable bitrate. This doesn't really matter, depends entirely up to you. But here's the important video settings. Now I chose the mode to be quality variable bitrate, and I chose the image size to be custom, and then I typed in my custom resolution, which is 2048 by 1152, which is the next step up from 1080p in 16:9 aspect ratio. Now I want this my pixels to be square, obviously, because I don't want the video to look weird, and my frame rate I want it to be 30 because my my video game footage was at 60 FPS, so 30 will go nicely into that. Now you want to, this quality slider I found up to 80%, about 85, works nicely, but if you really want to go out on the quality, slide it at 100. So that's pretty much it. You just type in a new name for this preset, press the save button, and there you have this preset that I already created for creating most of my videos. And this will be important in the next video, in the next episode of this mini series, when I talk about mass producing videos with mostly the same settings, all of them having similar settings. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Please rate and share this video as it helps my channel grow. Check out my other videos at the end of this one. And remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.